how do you learn to play something fast and play it properly? Something fast or something difficult? I get this question all the time throughout my clinics, from my college students, throughout the master classes that I do. And it's actually a really simple procedure. It's just about having the discipline to do it. So here are two simple tips to learning to play something fast and or difficult. Tip number one, never play faster than you can play perfectly. What does that mean? Perfectly doesn't just mean the right notes and the right rhythms. That's where a lot of players kind of stop and they make the practicing all about the fingers. That is not my philosophy. I think there's a lot more mechanics at play when you're playing your instrument than just your fingers. So for saxophone especially, we are implanting tone imagination. We're getting the tuning in our head and making sure all of our notes are in tune. We're making sure that our throat settings are set up so that we're playing our notes both in tune but with good response. We're checking our articulation. We're checking our tone quality, making sure all of that is perfect at a tempo where you can do it all perfectly every single time. So a lot of times for most players, including myself, this is really slow. Like if I'm looking to play a piece at like 140 beats per minute, I might be starting at 60 or 70. So I can do everything perfectly. Articulation, tuning, response, notes, rhythms, you name it. And that way, when I've worked up all that stuff, I don't have to go back and fix anything. A lot of players that I've seen will learn something, they'll learn the fingers, and they have to go back and learn articulations because they screwed that up. And they have to go back and fix the tuning because they screwed that up. It's a huge waste of your time. So if you can practice all of that at a slow tempo where you can do all of it, then the speed up process becomes way easier. So tip number one is never play faster than you can play everything perfectly. Tip number two, I call it the rule of fives. Very simple. If you can play it 5 times in a row perfectly, then speed it up by 5 clicks. Now this could be a phrase, this could be a motive, this could be a section of the piece. You'll decide how much you want to play to follow this rule. But for me, I usually do it in motives, right? So I'm going to do this motive 5 times in a row perfectly. And once I can do that, I'll speed it up by 5 clicks. And then I'll start the process all over again. If I do it 4 times in a row perfectly and I mess up on the 5th, then I have to do it all over again. So again, it takes a level of patience and discipline to practice this way, but by the time you get it to your goal tempo, it'll be effortless for you if you do it this way. So if you can follow those 2 basic tips, never play faster than you can play everything perfectly, and follow the rule of fives, 5 times perfect, then speed it up by 5 clicks, you can play anything difficult and hard, and it'll sound great, and the whole package will be there.